morning. Happy Wednesday. It's September 24th, 2025, and welcome to today's class. Today's class is fall samplers. So I have two samplers for you. One that is fall themed and one that is Halloween themed in order to celebrate the upcoming seasons here. So you'll be able to switch them out. You can have one out for September yet. We got like a week left, and then you could pull out Halloween, and then you could pull out fall once again when November comes around Thanksgiving time. So welcome. When you guys get on, say hello. I'm just gonna make sure I'm in the right places here. I have not seen my pop-up here that I am live on YouTube. So here we go. Things are just moving a little slow this morning. So anyways, welcome. Lots happening. We just came off of the Creative Escape, the Autumn Escape here that Christine put on last week. It was a busy week in the Hive, people coming and going, and it was so nice to come in and see everyone and be able to, you know, say hello. So many of you come from afar, you come from states away, and so it's really nice to see you guys, and lots of inspiration. The display boards that everyone puts up are just absolutely stunning. So it's really a great way for us to get to see all of the new product that just launched this past month and then some. It's just really inspirational, and it makes you really just fall in love more with the products that we have. Now, one thing that I'm also doing, we're kind of wrapping up our Stampin' Up year. Stampin' Up year comes to a close here in September. So I am doing some training out there and working on trying to grow my business and learning new things and finding new ways to be better, to offer you guys more. So I'm really excited. Our first kind of like homework task was to clean up our workspace. And I will tell you, I'm pretty much keep my workspace clean. While I'm in the process of creating, it's a hot mess, but usually when I finish up a card or a scrapbook page or whatever, I clear everything up and then I go on to the next project. So for the most part, I keep mine pretty tidy, but it is nice to just take that time and go through. I kind of went through some things that, you know, we no longer offer, kind of have retired and stuff like that. So that was nice to clear some of that out and make more room for the holiday stuff coming up. So welcome, ladies. We've got Kat and Karen and Margene all in. You're saying it's a cool day for fall in Wyoming, and it's kind of cool and gloomy and that today, but I think our temperatures are going to be in the 60s or whatever. So that's still nice weather for me. So coming from a girl who loves fall, I like these cooler temperatures. I love having the windows open and things like that. Hello, Janelle. So I challenge all of you to go and clean your craft space, because it is really nice when you can sit down and work and not have piles of stuff everywhere. And I did have piles. I did a display board also for the Escape and had piles of stuff everywhere and left it there and came here and brought stuff and whatever. So I challenge you guys to all clean your workspace and organize it a little bit and kind of pull out stuff that you don't use or want to get rid of. I know for those of you local, Christine is doing her used stamp sale. That'll be coming up in November, so prep for that. So anyways, one other huge announcement Stampin' Up made, and I'm super excited because we'll be entering a new Stampin' Up year coming in October. Stampin' Up just announced yesterday that we are offering a join special. So if you ever thought of being a demonstrator, or you thought maybe I just want to be a discount shopper, now is going to be the time, because they are offering, so you have two options you can choose from. You can choose $125 worth of product for $35. OMG, you guys. what a steal that is. So, or you can choose $189 worth of product for $99. So either one of those offers is an amazing offer. And if you have a huge wish list with a new holiday catalog and online exclusives that launched, and we'll have more stuff launching in November. So if you have stuff that you have a big list and you want to tackle some of that and get a really great deal, I would love for you guys to join my team and become a demonstrator and be a part of all of this amazingness that we have surrounded by us. So that starts the month of October. So starting October 1st, which is right around the corner, we're a week away from October. Crazy how that can be, right? Okay, so stamping, what do we got? Here, let me open this back up. All right. Margene, there was frost on your roof this morning. I am not looking forward to that. Like, I'm not looking forward to snow and frost or shoveling or any of that. I just wish fall could stay till, I don't know, spring or so, and we just skip winter. But I know it's coming. I'm seeing my garden kind of wilting a little bit and dying off. So yeah, it's crazy how fast it come. And the new join special Karen, yes, it is amazing. Whether you want to take this and do a business with it, or you just want to earn a discount for yourself and buy your product at 25% off. It's an amazing deal. So hello, Connie. So what I have coming up today for you, we have 2 samplers, Halloween and a fall one. I also have coming up on Friday, I'll be live. And then I changed the schedule around a little bit because some people couldn't make this Sunday. But so Friday will be the live version of the Lovely Floral Scrapbook Workshop. So we'll do 6 alternatives and 5 cards. And then we're going to do the in-person will be the following weekend, October. I'm looking at Christine's calendar here. 5th. Also, huge announcement next week, next week. So the 4th, next Saturday, yes, October 4th is World Card Making Day. Guess what? We have a holiday card buffet coming up. So mark your calendars for that. We're going to be stamping and scrapping together. I shouldn't say scrapping, stamping, making cards. So we're going to be doing a card buffet in person that morning starting at 9 o'clock. I was also going to do my live that day, but it is homecoming that day for us. So that means mom needs to get home and do the daughter's hair and nails and makeup and probably make dinner and do all that stuff for homecoming. So my live might be pushed to next week, Wednesday. Christine and I talked about it. She said, yeah, but she was really busy last week or a week and a half ago when we talked about it. So I just want to confirm with her today. So be on the lookout for that. So I'm going to show you the scrapbook pages that we're making on Friday. This is the Lovely Florals kit. This is a $75 order. In that order, you need to have ordered this kit. If you have this kit already, you can order $75 worth of whatever you need. Glue, DSP, stamps, whatever you need. Okay, so it's a $75 order. Place with me, and we are going to make these alternative pages. So I take the kits and I do something completely different with them than what Stampin' Up does. And then you also get an additional kit for placing that order with me. You get an additional kit that includes things like some photo mats, you get gems, I have some ribbon in here, plus you'll make the 5 cards. So these are our layouts here. And like I said, we'll be making 5 cards, but I forgot to grab those. So that is that kit. And then also next week, Monday, I will be live with the Morning Create. But let's get started with our samplers. And I have the fall one on top. So that's the one we'll start with first. So these are going to be, 12 by 12. And let me show you. You have to get your own frame. And I did that because we all have different colors, themes, you know, in our house. Some of us have wood, some of us have white, some of us like black. So I went to my local craft store, which is Hobby Lobby, which I believe most people have a Hobby Lobby around them. I know Michael's would be another option. I will post a link in the video comments for these frames if these are what you want. This was a 12 by 12 frame and I got it, it was 50% off. So I got it for like $6. So I don't think that's bad price for a frame. But like I said, this comes in different colors. You could also find any other 12 by 12 frame that you would like. I picked this one because I thought it would go well with the colors that I was kind of working with. So it's kind of a wood grain that has a little bit of a gray brown look to it. But they also carry this in black, white, gold, and maybe there was a light wood colored. Don't quote me on that. Or maybe one of those colors was wrong and there was a light wood color. So this is what you could use. You can also use a shadow box. Now this one I happen to have at home from other samplers that I have done. So there is this also. So I'll kind of put the frames over the layouts when we're done and you guys can kind of see what you like. So this is more of a thicker frame. It's more of a shadow box than an actual frame. So you can do either one with this project. Kind of whatever your preference would be. And Hobby Lobby had quite the variety of frames available to do this with. Okay, so our fall one, you're going to have a piece of crumb cake. It's up to you if you want to use the dark side or the light side. I'm going to use the light side. And then we have a piece of white 12 by 12 that I cut down. I don't remember the measurements. They're kind of like 9 3/4 and maybe by 10 or something like that. It's just a 1/4 inch off, so it's not a perfect square. And I put an X because we have one bigger square that we are going to do. And that way I knew where the square went, so I wasn't messing with your heads. Okay. So let's pull out our pieces. And we had such fabulous fall sets come out between the DSP and Stamps and Dies that I really wanted to try to incorporate as much of them as I could. So we're kind of using a little bit of everything from Gathering Moments, Amber Autumn, Autumn Trees, and Beautiful Pumpkins. So those are the stamp sets that I pulled in. Or dies, either one. So you're going to have 4 like rectangles and squares of different sizes, and with DSP. So you're going to have a Cajun Craze mat. So you're going to adhere these pieces to your mats. And this one's gonna go here like that. And I will admit, I kind of struggled with this one at first because we have some really large elements that I wanted to incorporate. And I didn't know kind of how I wanted it to lay out. So it took me a bit to figure that out. But once it all came together, I was really happy with it. So it's real simple. Which way do I want this to lay? I think I'm going to have it go this way. And it's really hard, I will say, it's really hard to glue some of these down. You know, the other side had of this espresso birch piece kind of had a pretty gold stripe in with the old olive, and this one has the pretty leaves on the back with some gold in it too. So it's really hard to cover these up, but both sides were equally as pretty. Okay, so now we're going to adhere our mats down. Leaving a slight white border. How many of you are anxiously awaiting your Autumn Escape box to come in the mail? Okay, so we have all of our mats on. Oops, I lied. I have one more mat to do. Got ahead of myself. Okay, now we can flip this over and adhere this to our piece of crumb cake. There we go. Now you're going to have a bunch of pieces that we're going to put together here. So look at this metallic, I think it's called metallic earthen foil paper. Isn't that pretty? So we're going to pop them up and put fall down in the bottom. Anyone looking forward to doing anything fun this fall? Do a lot of you go to craft fairs or anything like that? We are in the middle of marching band season, so that has us pretty busy. This fall. So I don't know that I'll get the opportunity to do too many craft fairs or things like that. I will say it was our first time with, this is our first time with marching band. Logan did not do marching band when he was in band, but Landon decided he wanted to give it a try. And I was so excited to see what a marching band competition was, but we unfortunately had really bad weather, lots of rain and you know, off and on with some lightning, and they usually perform outside for this because usually there's not enough space in a gym to hold these events. So we had quite the rain delay with a lot of it. They did do some performances in an inside gym, and I'm not sure how marching band works or how that all goes, so I don't know the classifications, like we're AAAA, and there's like an A and a triple A and a double A, so I'm not sure what that means, if they're like smaller schools or if it's kind of like, you know, divisions like with sports or things like that. But anyways, they did some schools in the gym and some schools did not have the gyms. Luckily, it finally stopped raining, I think at, oh, I think it was 9, 8:30, maybe 8, 8:30, and they said they were gonna go be on the field at 9:30 that night. So they finally were able to perform at 9:30 that evening. So it was a long day for us, but it was cool. I just wish we would have had the opportunity to see more of the bands perform. So we're adhering our fall letters. Now you can pop them up or you can glue them flat. It's more of a personal preference. I like to add dimensions, so I pop up as much as I can. Looks like I'm going to have to move things down a little bit. Try that. Carefully lift these pieces up so I don't rip my beautiful DSP. There we go. And then I always like to hold my paper, especially with my 12 by 12, you know, when I do my scrapbooking and things like that, I always like to hold it up because I think things look different when you're looking down at it and then looking up at it, and it helps me just line things up a little bit. Janelle, you love the trees, I know. And that was one of those things, like I knew I wanted to include this tree on here, and I knew I really wanted to include the large leaves. So I had two elements on here that I really wanted to get in here that were large, and that's where I struggled at first. But I think what I'm doing here, you guys are gonna love. Excuse me. Got a little frog there. So what we have here is the tree dies, and there is this detailed part, and then there's an outline, and you need both of them to cut this out. So it embosses it a little bit and adds some texture to it. Then I'm going to bring in these leaves here. Now, normally you would just put one on, but I really wanted to display fall colors. So I'm going to show you a way to take these. Now, you could cut out one of these and use a sponge dauber, or you could watercolor and have all these leaves a different color and only cut out one. That is an option too when using this set. Or there's also a stamp to stamp the tree and just cut out the outline, and you could, let's see, where is the tree? So this is the stamped image of the tree, and then you could color it however you would like to color it, with blends or with watercolor brushes. Okay, so my three colors here are pumpkin pie, Cajun craze, and crushed curry. And what we're gonna do is flip the Cajun craze one over, and I'm gonna put this one down first. like this. I glue on my fingers so it's all sticking to me. Then we're gonna take our pumpkin pie one. And lay it in a little bit different spots here. So I just kind of angled it a little bit different so that you can still see the Cajun craze and the pumpkin pie. Okay, now I'm just gonna take little pieces of this curry and cut them off. And just kind of randomly lay them in here so that you can see all three. So I probably won't use this whole piece. I'm just randomly like that. So really I got 4 pieces on here. So that's all I'm doing, but then you get all those beautiful colors on your tree. And I love that all of these add like layer and texture to your tree. Makes your tree look extra full, I guess you want to say. Which who doesn't love a beautiful tree full of colorful leaves? So there we go. I'm going to fold that in half because I have glue on it. So hopefully to not get glue all over the place. And then I will pop the tree up. I'm just going to place this down here. I'm going to leave a little space on the bottom, just so I don't have all this empty space up here. And then there is this adorable, hello Melanie, deer die out of the autumn trees set. So we're going to stamp that. I really wanted to incorporate, like I said, there were so many cool elements in these fall sets. I really wanted to try and incorporate a little bit of it all in this sampler. So what I like to do, you guys have seen me do this many times, is I ink up my block and I will nestle my stamp with my fingers. So my cutout piece is not over, it's not touching the stamp, but my fingers are. And when I get it lined up where I think everything lands, I put my finger over the top and ooh, I dropped it in my ink, but it was fine. And usually I can stamp, if you have a cutout like this, pretty easy that way. I find it so much easier than to try to look through and try to line it up, especially with a cling stamp. You could do that with photopolymer, but sometimes it is hard to see. So I just find that that is that much easier to do. Okay, and we'll pop that one up. So we'll just put him down there by the tree. Isn't that cool? I was so happy with how these turned out. Sometimes, you know, you have an image in your head, and when things don't start playing out the way you hoped, it's like, oh no, what am I doing? Okay, so now we have these giant leaves, right? And of course I wanted to incorporate those. So I cut them out and then I embossed them. And then I have some labels here. This is actually from the traditional Christmas labels, I believe is what it's called. You think I would know. This was my suite that I designed with, but you know, there's two suites in this giant suite. So it's like a mega suite. And one is greenery, Christmas greenery, I think, and then this one's traditional labels, something like that. Okay, then I wanted to bring in Autumn Wishes. So we're gonna stamp that in our label piece here. And we'll use espresso for that. There we go. Isn't that pretty font? And then one of my favorite ribbons in this set is this weave ribbon. Isn't this pretty? So we're gonna weave this back and forth on our label. So I'm just using a little bit of tear tape. That roll of tear tape seems huge because it's a brand new roll, and I've had a roll for quite a while. I mean, tear tape lasts quite a bit, and it's been a while since I've had to have a new roll, and that roll just seems huge compared to working with the tiny roll that I've had for the last, you know, 6 months or so. So I'm just going to weave this back and forth. Angle my end. And then I will put a little piece over the top. Just to make sure that that doesn't pop up. It's been quite some time. I was trying to think back to when the last time I did a sampler, and I honestly, the last samplers I really feel that I created, Christine and I did when she first started doing the escapes. That is kind of what I came to as far as the last ones that I remember. doing. So I'm putting these leaves on an angle, and my label is going to go like that. So let's put our leaves down. Now you could also take, if you want to, and take some curry and some Cajun craze and brush around the edges. And I use the corrugated folder and the new Gathering Leaves folder. I will say I love both of those folders. Corrugated is perfect for just about any all right. So I'm gonna go like that. We're gonna put our label on. Now, I couldn't decide. I wanted to add some pumpkin pie in here also, and I couldn't decide what I wanted. So I have these that we'll have to stamp. Or I have these. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me stamp these ones, see if that helps you make a decision. Thank you, Margine. I know, I love the colors. If you are not in a fall mood when we're done, I don't know what to tell you. These colors just, they bring warmth and hominess. That's what I think of as with fall, is warmth and homey. Okay, so we have this. I like the fullness of these leaves. I think they go with those. I think I'm gonna stick with that. And once again, I just lay my cardstock. I put my fingers are actually on the stamp, allowing this to hover over the top. Margine, you like the small leaves tucked in, okay. Or we have that too. That's an option. I kind of like that as an option too. And actually, I would tuck these more up here. I think I like that. Okay, what do you guys think? I couldn't decide, so I left it. I brought stuff, and I guess you guys are taking a vote. And then the other thing I want to add is an acorn. I love this little acorn in this set. And I have a couple of them that I might just decide to place randomly. Okay, you guys are loving it. Yay! Look at that cute little acorn. I didn't stamp him very well, but good morning, Suzanne. Thank you. Look at that. Oh my goodness, I love it. Okay, I have these here, so we'll stamp them and we will see if we decide to add them anywhere to this page when we're done. And while we are stamping, we're gonna stamp our pumpkins for the next one. So this is Beautiful Pumpkins. And Beautiful Pumpkins come with two detailed stamps. One is more of a solid image, and one gives a little bit more detailed image. Oops. So here we go. So normally you would stamp this first. So usually I would stamp this in second strength. So I would stamp off my ink and stamp this, and then I would stamp this full strength over the top. Where did I get the frames to display it? Hobby Lobby is where I went, Anna. So we're just gonna use the second stamp here where we would do second strength or full strength. So I'm gonna bring those two in. I believe this one fits here. This one will fit on our larger block. And I am going to ink up in Pumpkin Pie. But then I am going to bring in my sponge dauber. And I'm going to take a little bit of Cajun Craze and kind of just go along the edge here on the bottom to darken it. Okay. So then bring my stamp in and my pumpkin. And hopefully I have this lined up good. Might be off a little bit, but isn't that cool? It makes it look so realistic, and just adding that darkness on the bottom really adds another layer of dimension and kind of pulls in that Cajun Craze from all over the page here. So we're gonna do the same thing with this little pumpkin. A little bit of that Cajun just on the bottom. There we go. And I love that richness of having that Cajun Craze on the bottom. Now, this class, you'll get to make this this layout, and you'll also get to use the next one. This class is $26 plus shipping. I do not include the frame, but like I said, they are at Hobby Lobby, and I will put a link in the comments of this video for those of you that want to purchase one. And like I said, the frames come in multiple colors. Okay, so now kind of the final touches here. So we've got some leaves here. and some stems for our pumpkins. And of course, what are we gonna do? We're gonna wink a Stella. Now just remember that this will pick up your ink. So I kind of do my inked area separate. And if your ink pen is super juicy, remember it could spread your color around a little bit. So you might lose a little bit of that definition there. Okay, so this is what I do. With the greenery. I was gonna put it on the greenery. I just take some dimensionals on these larger leaves. Now I will also be doing this class in person. I have it this Sunday. It'll be at my home. And I'm also going to combine the lovely floral with this class the following Sunday. So that is the 5th. So you have two options to do in person, and also you can get this to-go kit. Then I just use some glue dots. Put my stem in and I think we'll put this one here. Like that, and these pumpkins look so realistic, I think. Okay, I had that leaf, you guys. Here it is. I'm like, where'd I lose it already? Don't you hate when that happens, when you start losing things? That's another thing that helps you with, you know, not to lose as many things in your craft room by clearing it out and organizing it. You could find things that are lost. So that one goes right there. And we'll Stella up our vines here. And I'm actually going to, oh, we didn't glue these in because I was deciding, and I really like them, so. That, and then we'll add this right there. Oh, maybe we'll tuck that one down there. Okay, there is our first sampler. So this is the fall one. Isn't this pretty? So if we bring in our frame, like I said, I believe this came in 4 different colors. I have this gray-brown kind of frame, but they had black, they had white. I can't remember if they had gold and a light wood or if it was one or the other. So I'm not going to take apart the frame right now, but that's what it would look like in this dark gray frame. So pick a frame color that you like, that works with your house. Good idea, Julie. The inside of these would look like twigs. Would be another option to add. So you could do it like this, or like I said, this one is more of a shadow box, and they had several different options of shadow boxes, but this is one that I had at home, and you could do it like that also. I think this was from one of the very first displays that we did. I remember hunting down all of these frames. We would go to Oshkosh, we would go to Appleton, we would stop at every Hobby Lobby we could to pick up frames for these. So there you go. There is option number 1 for you. Now, let's do some spooky Halloween. Okay, so this one we are using the two-toned in black, and I like this charcoal-y side, so I went with that. And then we also have Petunia Pop, and I'm going to use the dark Petunia Pop and the lighter gray. Oh, guess what I forgot to do, you guys? Add gems. We're going to back up a minute. How could I forget gems? Then we have these beautiful Cajun Craze gems, right? We got to add these. Oops, this one lost its sticky. Julie, I have to give you and Karen Wetstein a shout out. You guys did a fabulous job on your display. You guys had the fall display, but you had gathering moments, right? Was that the suite that you guys did? Very beautiful display that they did. Okay, I'm happy with this. So we're gonna let this one be and move on to our Halloween one. Okay, so like I said, we have a piece of black two-tone. You can use either side. I like the more charcoal-y look. And then we have Petunia Pop. And I'm going to use the dark side of that one. So we have some black mats. We got 4 squares here, so we're going to adhere our DSP to each one of these. Autumn Toil, so that included two suites, right? Did that include Autumn Gathering or was that the Autumn Trees and Amber Autumn. I think that's what it was. So we've got candy on this side, but you and Karen Went Sign totally rocked it. We've got so this is the back of this one. Oh, I just realized I forgot the heat tool. We're going to do some heat embossing. Okay, and this is our final one. Okay, so now we're going to layer all of these onto our petunia pop. Just like we did with the last one, we did all of our mats first. So this one goes up here on the top. And then I got to think about how I believe this one went here. Oh, this one went here. I think this is how I had. I didn't make a second one. That's why I say I think. So there we go. Karen, you love the fall sampler. I know, it's so cool. If you love fall, I think that one just did it, as we're all kind of feeling fall vibes right now. It makes me want to go home and start decorating for fall. I haven't done that yet. I was going to last weekend while we were canning spaghetti sauce, but you just forget how much work and how much mess you make when you're doing all that. So I never got to getting out the fall stuff. And I'll be honest, Sunday we were really tired because we did not get home from our band excursion till like, it was after sometime between 1 and 2 in the morning. I think Glenn and I finally went to bed at 3. So that was way past my bedtime. This girl cannot stay up that late. Okay, so there is that. And the rest of this is all pieces from the DSP for the most part. I've got a few pieces here that are cut out. So we've got a couple labels here that we're gonna stamp. And of course, we've got some letters. Those are gonna go there. And then some die cut pieces. So I'm just kind of laying these out. Look at this. I just love this. I love these little spider webs. Check these out. They're so cool. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go grab a heat tool. I'll be right back. So we're going to use some black embossing powder to stamp our label. And I just love this label. It's Fright Night, Boo, little cat, little bit of everything Halloween on here. So you need a larger block for this one. This one's pretty big. I'm gonna set this aside. Make sure you use your embossing buddy. And when I do this, I actually tap this on here and really coat it. I don't just rub it on. Ink up with your Versamark ink. And try to hold it on the edges and not grabbing it from the middle, because otherwise you'll get your fingerprints on here, and that can sometimes leave spots where it doesn't emboss very nice. Now, if you didn't have black embossing powder, you could definitely just stamp this with black ink. But I liked the dimension that the embossing powder gives you. Oops. And for those of you who have never embossed, then you take a heat tool. I'll move that aside so hopefully I don't blow powder everywhere. And you're gonna watch this basically melt. It's gonna go from a matte look to a shiny look. And I don't know if the screen will pick this up or not, but we'll find out. So you can kind of see, I don't know, it's starting to turn glossy and shiny. So now you guys can see in the light a little bit, you can see that gloss. So pretty. Okay, set that aside. And this is what I do for, I have a little container for each. I know we have the tray that you can do your embossing powders in. The one thing I will say, when you use a tray, make sure that you wipe it out when you are done. A lot of times what happens is you still get a little powder residue in here. So like if I were to go through and put white embossing powder in here now, after doing this black, you're gonna have some of the black specks end up in your white embossing powder. So I just kind of have a little dish like this that is available for each color. That way I don't have to worry about did I wipe it out or not. Like I said, you can see a little bit of that residue in there, and then I would just take a baby wipe and wipe it out before you were to use another color. So that's just a hint with embossing powder, to make sure that you do that, because I wondered why I had all these flecks in my white or clear powders, and that was why, is because I wasn't remembering either to wipe, or I had the tray, I didn't think nothing of it. And sometimes in the bottom of the tray, I don't have the tray in front of you, but there's like a hole in the bottom where it goes through, and sometimes some of that powder gets stuck in the bottom of that tray, and then ends up in your other colors. So just a little helpful tip there. Okay, Mimi Thank you. Is Christine doing CSI after you live? I haven't looked at the calendar, but if she has it scheduled normally, sometimes she does have a class right after me, and sometimes she doesn't. So I guess I'm not sure if she is or not, so I can't help you out with that. But I would check the calendar. Hopefully that will give you a better answer. Okay, so we cut out our letters in Petunia Pop, and then I embossed them with the, I think it's called Distressed Brick folder. So I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of all of these. Hello, Deanne. You're taking a lunch break from cleaning up from last night's Bunko game at your house. How fun. Now, was it like a card bunko or just regular bunko? Because I know there are some demonstrators that do bunko with a card class. I've never played bunko, but I hear it is a blast. And thank you, Kathy. I'm glad you're loving these pages. I had a lot of fun making these. I will say, like I said, it's been a long time since I made samplers, and these were really fun to put together. And I will actually be doing samplers again in November. November, we will be doing a holiday Christmas one and a winter themed one. We have these beautiful snowflakes sets, and so I'm going to do something with those for the winter themed one. Jeannie, last night Christine said she didn't have a card for SCI and it would be canceled. I think the CSI is canceled. Okay, so yes, your best bet would be to check with Christine on that one. Just regular bunko you played. Okay. I'm sure with the escape, and I think she posted yesterday, she got like 90 packages out and delivered. I don't know if it was yesterday or what, something like it was. I think it was posted yesterday on her Facebook page. So she worked really hard on getting everything packaged up and shipped out. I didn't know what I was going to walk into today, if there would be boxes galore or not. So she probably needs a day to recoup from the last week. Okay, so I'm doing the tedious part right now, just taking off all of these backings. Okay, so we are going to take 2 of the cobwebs. Actually, we're going to take all 3. So you have 3 cobwebs. We're going to Wink Estella these babies up. A little bit of sparkle. Everything's better with a little bit of sparkle. A little sparkle for your days, guys. Okay, so these 2 webs are actually going to, or 2 of the webs, are going to go at these top corners. So one is going to go here in the corner. Oops, I got letters sticking to me. And another one is going to go on the opposite corner. I have everything sticking to me. Okay, so we are going to put the word happy up here. And I'm not going to push these down. Oh man, I got 30 minutes to get done. I didn't realize she was going live at 11. So hold on, you guys. I will keep a moving here. I think that looks pretty good. I don't know about my line though. My line might not be so good. My Y's got to go a little higher. I'm not going to press that middle P down quite yet because we are going to stick another web. We're going to kind of tuck it underneath here. I think I did it like this. Okay, there we go. So we've got happy up here, right? And I'm going to glue this down because it's ready. So that's going to go down like so. And then we're going to bring in Happy Halloween, and we're just going to stamp Halloween. So I'm just going to ink up Halloween on here. I put it on my little label. Like that. It's a little off. That's okay. And so on this end, I'm going to pop this up twice. Actually, I'm going to pop it up twice on both. And this is going to go. I want it like in through here. I'm going to do that. And then I forgot to bring my black marker, but we got this cute little spider here. And then what I would do is draw a line actually. I was going to put him down here. I'm going to put him down here. But I would draw a line from the web in black all the way down to our little spider. Okay? All right. Now, let's do our label. Now for our label, we've got this all embossed, right? brought Petunia Pop, Granny Apple Green, and we have Pumpkin Pie. And I'm going to take my blending brush here. Remember to go off on your scratch paper and then bring it in through here. Now I'm kind of doing this on a bit of an angle, and you can do this as light or as dark as you want. I want some bold color, so I'm going to make this darker. Then we're going to take our pumpkin pie, do the same thing, and kind of do it in the middle here. And then Petunia Pop. So you got kind of nice little rainbow of Halloween colors going on. Okay, and this can get adhered to the other black label. So just whoa. Nice thing about liquid glue is you have the ability to move things. The not so good thing is it moves sometimes when you don't want it to. Okay, show this. I almost feel like I should put a spider there. I'm not, I guess, I'm kind of centering it, but it is, we'll center it. Never mind, don't listen to me, we're gonna center it. There we go. Okay, so now, let the fun begin. This is a fence here, and what I did is I cut it in half so that we could spread it out. So I'm going to put one end down there. And one over here. And then we have our adorable mummy hippo. So he's gonna go right here. Oh, you know what? I changed this up. See, this is what happens when you don't make an example, and I changed this up. So originally he was on the candy. I moved him to the purple so that he could move. So that he could show up better, because I thought he blended in. So we're changing my original plan just a little bit. So he's gonna go in the middle of the fence where you cut it, so you don't even notice that. And here on this side, we get the witch's cauldron. go here. And then we have a broom. We have our witch's broom. Look how fast I can throw everything all over a desk. I'm going to take a thin piece here and cut for the broom handle. So that'll go like that, and it's a little bit off the page. And then we have a house with our moon in the back. I want to pop this up. Change my mind. I'm going to pop this up. I really do know what I'm doing, guys. If you had any questions about my stamping abilities today. So I'm going to put this as low as I can get it, but making sure that all of the holes in the house have yellow peeking through them. And then that will go here. And I'm going to Stella the house up. I'm going to Stella up our potion and the bottom of our broom. And we've got some bottles here that we're going to pop up. Now, most of these pieces, the hippo, the potion, the broom, potions, these are all part of the DSP that goes with this set. And you could put this in the middle of this if you wanted to. I thought it could be another potion. My husband said it looked like a Starbucks cup. Take your pick, right? And now we have the word eek. That is going to go up here. I'm going to move my bottle over, I think. Just a smidge so I'm not covering up my word. There we go. There we go, like that. And once again, I would draw a black line. So I'll have to do that when I get home. and have my spider coming down from that. So cute. Then we have a few other pieces to just put on here to finish everything off. So we've got some pumpkins with a little crow down here. And then you guys kind of decide. My husband did not like this little crow up here. I thought he was kind of cute, but we can just do some bats too. So I'll let you guys decide that while I am got some candy corn here. And then we've got some bats. So put them like that. Actually, we're gonna pop them up too. So this bat can go here with this guy. Did we take a vote yet? Did anyone decide? Do we want to keep our bird there, or? I think we'll keep him there. If you don't want him on yours, you don't have to add it. I think I have one more bat that I think I'll put this one down here. And then we'll put this one up above. And then I just want to add a little bow on our broom. So that will go right there. And there we go. So we have Halloween done. We have all these cute little embellishments that come in this kit. Oops. These want to stick everywhere. Of course, let's Stella up our bats here. Everything's better. Like I said, everything's better with a little bit of sparkle. Okay, so both of our samplers are done. This class is $26. Oh, you know what? It's not done yet. I always forgot embellishments, so you'll get some little star embellishments. So you'll get to make this sampler and you'll get to make the fall sampler. So $26 for both plus shipping. You do have to provide your own frame. So this is the online version today. I will be in person this Sunday at my home, and then I will also be doing this in person on the following Sunday, October 5th, I believe that is. I think Saturday I'll be here. Yep. So Saturday's the 4th. I'll put stars on. I'll take pictures and send those to you guys. So this is what I got. This is my lineup over the next week or so. So Friday I'm here for the lovely floral scrapbooking workshop kit. That kit is a $75 order. You need to order that kit in that order, or if you have it at home already, you can just order whatever you need to get, whether it's adhesive, paper, whatever, okay? That I'll be live on Friday. And then on Monday, I'll be here with Born and Create, both online and in person. And then next Wednesday, I'm gonna double check, October 1st, we'll be doing the live version of the Christmas card buffet that we will be doing on Saturday in person for World Card Making Day. So lots happening. And then on that Sunday the 5th, I will be doing the lovely florals in person workshop, and we'll be doing the samplers in person. So lots coming up in the next week or so, week and a half. I'm so glad you guys could join me today. I enjoyed making these. I'll flip over one last time. So like I said, you'll get to make both of these samplers. You'll have some stars that you can speckle throughout on your kit. And I think that's about all. Remember, I challenged all of you to go and clean your craft space, make space, and phase out things that you don't use. I know we all like to hoard things, but if you really don't love it anymore, put it on sale, sell it, do something like that so you can buy more of the new goodies. And don't forget about the new join special coming up starting October 1st. It is amazing. $99 worth of product for $35, or let me double check. I don't want to misspeak. $189 for $99. Now, you also get business supplies with that, a paper pumpkin, and some catalogs in that order. So there's added value in that too. So I would love to you guys to join my team. That is my new goal. October will be starting a new Stampin' Up year. That there's runs from October to October, and this year I'm working really hard at becoming Silver Elite and working towards earning the incentive trips. So those are things I'm working for. They say it out loud, so I'm saying it out loud. And I lost you guys again. So that is what I have. I hope you all have a fabulous day and enjoy this fall weather that we're having. And I think that's all I've got for you guys today. So thank you for joining me. I look forward to stamping with you all again on Friday at 4 p.m. So I'll see you then. Thank you.